Let's explore this official GMAT problem. To get the most out of this video, pause the recording now and solve the problem yourself. The correct answer is E. This problem shows a lot about GMAT critical reasoning problems, so let's examine some of the key concepts as we walk through the solution. I'm going to follow a 4-step process, starting with identifying the question type. I would read the question stem first, as this allows me to categorize the problem and helps me know what to expect in the passage above. I can see that it's an explain problem, sometimes also called an explain the surprise or paradox problem. It's important to note that this is different from most critical reasoning problems. Usually, in critical reasoning problems, we see an argument, and arguments are about proving the truth of a statement. Explain problems, however, don't contain arguments, and are about explaining something. What's the difference? Let's consider a brief example, and we'll return to this problem in a minute. If I say, his shoes are wet because it's raining outside, you may be tempted to say that this is an argument. After all, it has the marker word because that often signals a supporting reason. And in some sense, the fact that it's raining outside is supporting the fact that his shoes are wet. But wait a minute, notice that these are both facts. There's no claim or opinion that's being put forward here. Remember that arguments are about proving the truth of some statement or trying to do so. That's not what's happening here. In this case, we have an explanation. The fact that it's raining outside gives a reason why his shoes are wet. Let's think of a similar situation that's an argument. If I said, look, his shoes are wet, I think it must be raining outside, then this is an argument. I'm putting forward a conjecture, a prediction, a claim about something that I don't know for sure. The words, I think it must, signal that we have an opinion here. Now we have some evidence, the wet shoes, that support a claim about the weather. This is an argument. Hopefully, this clarifies the important difference between an argument and an explanation. Back to the problem. The second step is to read the passage and look for the thing that needs to be explained. Notice that we've got just facts here. There's no conclusion or premises. What we do have, however, is an expectation that isn't met, some sort of surprise. The words even though help me see that this company is doing something that seems illogical. If rubber tapping is more profitable, then we'd expect the corporation to pursue that business. We need to draw on our reasonable common sense and a little background knowledge about business and economics here. However, the company isn't doing rubber tapping, but is doing cattle ranching instead. Here's the thing that needs to be explained. The third step is to state the goal of the correct answer. Let's be precise about what we're looking for. Here, we're looking for a reason why the company is doing cattle ranching instead of more profitable rubber tapping. This kind of precision is going to help us when it comes to confusing answer choices. One more thing. It's just about impossible to predict the correct answer choice, but if I'm fully engaged in the scenario, I find it hard not to think of reasons. My active brain comes up with ideas. Perhaps there's a shortage of equipment. Perhaps the government offers some subsidy for cattle ranching or tax on rubber tapping. Perhaps the longer term prospects are better for cattle ranching. This is the creative side of critical thinking, and I'm pretty sure you do something similar when you solve problems outside the GMAT. Fourth and finally, let's eliminate answer choices. Notice that I left this until last. The answer choices are designed to confuse us, so I don't look at them until I have a good understanding of the scenario above. State the goal again. We're looking for a reason why the company is doing cattle ranching instead of more profitable rubber tapping. Answer A, if anything, provides a reason why cattle ranching is a good option. Answer B provides some kind of irrelevant comparison. We're interested in comparing cattle ranching to rubber tapping, not to cold weather climates. Answer C might be tempting, as it mentions taxes, but it's another opposite trap. This would be a reason not to do cattle ranching. Remember that we're looking for a reason why the company is doing cattle ranching instead of more profitable rubber tapping. Answer D gives another irrelevant detail. If anything, this would be a reason against cattle ranching. Answer E works out. If it costs more to start a rubber tapping operation, then perhaps Suncor can't raise the initial investment. This would be a barrier to starting a rubber tapping operation and a reason why the company is doing cattle ranching instead. Notice again how we need to draw on some basic business knowledge to make sense of this answer. Although I first tried to eliminate answers for CR, I also tried to make sense of the correct answer. Sometimes I have the sensation of the correct answer jumping out and matching the goal that I stated previously. To review, here are a few things that helped. First, be clear about the difference between an explanation and an argument. Second, practice the 4-step process, particularly stating the goal. Lastly, be aware of the kind of general knowledge, particularly about business, that you'll be expected to know for critical reasoning problems. Check out the link below for some follow-up tasks.